Oh no, Solana has another major outage. Is it game over? Can we kiss $100 goodbye? Let's talk about it. Alright, welcome back to another episode of Bitcoin and Solana Daily. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin and Solana news and then dive right into the chart. So, starting off with the news for Solana, once again, Solana has another major outage. We almost made it to 1 year, guys. It was 351 days since the last outage. Now, currently, this outage has been going on for about 4 hours, and this outage was caused when network validators were unable to process transactions and advance the blocks. Now, the exact cause of what was the reason for the outage hasn't yet been found. It's under investigation, but rest assured, a network restart is under the way. It's about 60% right now. Once we've got a little bit more consensus and it's at 80%, it should restart. And based on looking at the Solana mainnet cluster outages, most of the time, especially, the last time, it doesn't tend to last too long. So we should expect Solana to be back up and running today. Now, this was the first major outage for Solana since the 25th of February 2023. So like I said, we were so close to almost making it an entire year. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about all of the times where Solana's had outages and is it the end of the world for Solana. But for right now, that's the news. Let's dive into the Bitcoin news. Not too much to update over on the Bitcoin front. We're looking at the ETF flows for what was happening yesterday. Now, it was a very quiet day for the markets yesterday in the stocks and also for the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Yes, we have had a positive inflow once again, very small inflow, 68,000. The major note to take away from this though is that the grayscale BTC outflows have now dropped to their second lowest at 107 million worth of total outflows. Now, this is a good sign. They're slowly dropping, as I've been saying in the previous videos. This is probably going to flip positive very soon. Now, if you want those numbers in Bitcoin, yesterday the GBTC outflows reached about 2,548 Bitcoin. However, in total, it was positive because BlackRock had over 3,200 inflows. So in total, the ETFs bought up a net 1,608 Bitcoins yesterday. So slowly increasing their market share. They're almost at 1% of holding the entire Bitcoin supply. Bitcoin on-chain is looking very quiet as well, and this is reflected in the charts, which are pretty much going sideways right now. You can see at this moment in time, long liquidations, short liquidations, and the total number of liquidations are extremely flat right now, which is a good sign. It shows that there's not a lot of leverage in the market right now, and the price action that we are seeing up here at 43,000 is healthy. And it's not exactly like if the price drops $1,000, we're going to see a long cascade, which is going to take us down to 35k immediately. Open interest and volume on Bitcoin futures across all metrics are increasing. Bitcoin funding rates are at a very healthy level right now. The aggregate funding rate is 0.0087, which kind of just shows there's not a lot of longs in the market, and also we're not super net low on the aggregate, so there's not a lot of shorts in the market. Very healthy in terms of leverage right now. Moving on to the charts, it's going to be a super quick one today because, like I've been saying for the past few days, on the daily time frame, we're pretty much looking at the same level. So I'll give you the rundown on the daily. Bitcoin is still facing the 50 TMA. This is getting tighter and tighter. Every day I'm making a new daily update. You can see the daily EMA ribbons were above them, so these are moving up. The 50 TMA, we're beneath it, so we are moving down on the 50 TMA. So right now, these are about to converge, and typically when you see Bollinger Bands tighten, when you see moving averages tighten into the price, and you see things like EMA ribbons underneath, and they start to have these confluence where they get extremely tight in a very small range, it normally means you're on a consolidation. And this is what we can see here. We've been the same price since the 29th of January. Now, I have to be fully transparent and let you know exactly what I see. According to the fact that we're beneath the 50 TMA closing daily candle bodies, and according to the fact that the daily stochastic RSI is topping out at this moment in time, and moving on to our next chart, the diamond top formation, from a probability perspective, it's looking more and more likely that we're going to actually have a breakdown. Now, the breakdown of this diamond top formation that we're currently sitting in is going to have a price target down here at 33,500. However, I am not jumping the trigger right now. We are still in this diamond top formation. We're still on an ascending trend line. We're still above the heart line of the Bollinger Bands. And if we are coming over to the weekly time frame, it's kind of any day now, whether we have that breakdown first on the daily or whether we just, start moving back up to the upside. If we're looking at the weekly time frame, you can see that the stock on the weekly is very close to resetting. And we already had a major bounce from 38,600. So it's becoming harder and harder to say that we're going to have some crucial breakdown. However, I do just have to let you know both sides of the market. I want to show you the bull and the bear. At this moment in time, it's decision time. So personally, I'm going to be reacting to the market, not necessarily predicting the market. Now, I personally think it's a tiny bit more likely that we move down to the downside. However, I'm not going to be entering a long right now. I'm not going to be entering a short right now. I'm going to tell you the levels that I'm looking at, and once one of those levels gets breached and scenario A or scenario B happens, we can enter a trade with a higher probability and a higher certainty that the trade will go in our way. So, scenario A, which according to the charts is unfortunately the most likely one. This is the fact that if we have another daily candle body close underneath 43,000, you can see tomorrow we would be opening right on the verge of a breakdown from this diamond top formation. So Bitcoin, you really want to see it move above 43,100 and close a daily candle body close with certainty and start to move back up to the upside. That is scenario A. We really need to get above 43,000, not for a few hours. We need to close a daily candle above there, and then we need to start moving. It's not like, okay, we can get above 43,000 and stay there for a few days. No, this is a diamond top formation. This has a high probability of breaking to the downside. If this is going to become invalidated, we need to start moving to the upside very quickly. Now, not all the time the bearish price target of the diamond top formation hits. We could just end up doing something like an SFP, breaking down and making a higher low around about, let's say, 39, 40,000, something like this. This is also a probability of an SFP pattern, but I just have to let you know from a shorting perspective, if we do start closing another daily candle underneath 43,000 and then we start to fall underneath 43,000, that is, really a short confirmation signal. So if tomorrow we're sitting at 43,000 and we've got the daily candle body close at 43,000 and we're trying to move slightly above it, that's not a confirmation of a short. If we close tomorrow around about 43 or even worse below 43 and then we start to lose 43, this is when you're going to see a breakdown of the diamond top. So ladies and gentlemen, to say we've got 48 hours in my opinion is a stretch. I really think we've got about 24 hours to decide what is the next move for Bitcoin. Like I said, I'm not in a long position, I'm not in a short position, I'm not going to predict the market necessarily right now, I'm going to react to the market. Once I react, I'll let you know accordingly if I've entered a position. So moving on to Solana very quickly, we've actually got a confirmation of a bearish short position over on the 50 TMA strategy. You can see we've closed the daily candle body underneath the 50 TMA. Yesterday we bounced back up to the 50 TMA, and today when we were lollygagging around the 50 TMA, of course, the worst timing possible, we've got another outage for Solana. Now, in the immediate short term, things could be looking slightly down for Solana. And when I say slightly down, I really mean, I still think Solana is looking very bullish right now. In a worst case scenario, I kind of see us coming down to about $87, retesting this bull flag breakout and then moving back up to the upside. The reason why I say this is if we move on to our final chart for Solana, if you're looking at all of these horizontal yellow rays over on the chart, what these represent are Solana's outages. I've gone through the Solana status uptime, I've gone through all of this data, and basically whenever there's these major outages, I've marked this over on the chart, and you can see the reason why there's a big yellow box over here from round about the start of January to round about the 21st of January is because if we come over to here, you can see there was an outage on the 6th of January, it lasted until the 12th of January, and then, we kind of had a week or so free, but then, once again, another outage over here. So, to make it easy, I've just highlighted the outage over here. Now, first of all, the first major outage that we had was at the start of a bear market, and this one was the worst one of all, because as you can see, it was just outage, 16 hours out. Oh, okay, it's back up. Next day, 10 hours out, 8 hours out the next day, 1 hour out, 18 hours out, 2 hours out, 1 hour out, 12 hours out, 17 hours out. Back in January, it was not looking good. We just had outages after outages after outages, and it's no surprise to see that some people lost confidence in the network, especially when it was all the way up here at $265. If you were in major profit on Solana and then you started seeing all these outages when it was around about 130, 150, you were probably like, okay, let me take some profit, which is understandable. On the next major outages we had around about the 25th of April and the 1st of May, you can see, yes, we had these two outages, but we were already starting to break down into a bearish trend. So I don't exactly think this called anything. Over here, you saw an outage around about the 6th of June. However, we broke down for about a week and then we just bounced back up afterwards. So as you can see, the point that I'm kind of going to get to in a second here is that I don't necessarily think the markets care so much about outages. So what? You know, you can't use Solana for 4 hours. What are you going to do? Are you going to go use Arbitrum? Are you going to go use Ethereum? Are you going to go use Matic? Probably not. You're probably just going to sit on the sidelines for a bit and use Solana when you can. I know that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't use Solana for 4 hours. Do you know what I want to do? I want to go spend £400 on gas fees with failed transactions on Ethereum because Ethereum is so superior. We've probably got an outage because there's so much demand at this moment in time for Solana. So while, yes, you can look at it as bearish, yes, you can also look at it as bullish, it's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's neutral. You know, the problem needs to be fixed. And I think, you know, in the past year, they've done a very good job of updating the mainnet and avoiding downtime for almost an entire year. While this is not necessarily a good look on the daily time frame, it's still a step in the right direction. It's been almost a year since the previous outages. I hope that, you know, we don't see any more outages from here, or at least if we do, it's in a year's time and we start, you know, making these less regular. Moving on, as you can see, we had 2 outages over here on the 26th and the 3rd of October. The markets didn't really care. We were just trending sideways. It didn't really break down, didn't really break up. Over here, you can see Solana saw a rally from about $8 all the way up to $27. We had an outage here. We broke down a little bit. We erased all of those losses within the next week or so. So the point that I'm trying to say is, unless we're in this type of scenario where we're going to have, you know, hundreds of hours of outages in this entire month, that would definitely change the shape of how I'm thinking about Solana right now. If that does happen and we keep on having outages day after day, which I don't think is going to happen, then in the short term, yes, I would definitely see a major correction. But based on this data, it seems like the markets don't mind too much if there's 1 or 2 outages every now and then that last 4 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours. So that's what I'm hoping this is going to be. I'll keep you up to date. And there we go. Just as I was wrapping up the video, the network has restarted. So the network is all up and running at this moment in time. Blocks are being pushed through, new blocks are being made. On one final note, one of the coins that I've been heavily talking about and shilling to you for the past week, we gave you this call in the Cowboy Discord at around about 90 cents. We gave it to you over on YouTube at $1. Whales market pushed up to almost $3.50 yesterday. Now currently, it's still only a 46 million market cap. Come down to the volume by day, it's making new all-time highs every day, but the things we care about are the incurred fees by day. Yesterday, that totaled $250,000 in fees incurred. Now, why is this so important? Well, I personally believe, of course, there's a little bit of hype behind whales, but the major reason why we're just seeing this parabolic run to the upside, and the reason why I don't necessarily think the price right now is unhealthy even after this major rally, is because it's backed by the on-chain. If you're staking whales, then you're getting 60% of the revenue share. They're buying back the supply, they're giving you these rewards, and look at the incurred fees, 250,000 in a day, and 60% of that is being given back to stakers. That is why it's doing so well right now. This is one of the reasons why I still think this project has a long way to go to the upside. So for today, my friends, that's all I've got. Hope you enjoyed the update. As always, if you did, make sure to smash that like button, leave a comment, share the videos with your friends. If you want to further support the channel, feel free to click the join button below, become a member today. See you in the next episode of Bitcoin and Solana Daily. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I am out. Peace.